Previously on the YoGPoD.
See what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get this new mic, and I'm gonna lose all my subscribers in one day.
I would have hoped you'd done a little bit more preparation.
Oh my god, why are you the best? Sips, have you ever considered running for leader of Canada?
Are your other names anagrams of Sips?
There's a lot of questions.
So like a picture of Ed from Twilight sellotape to your bicep.
I asked if he had beautiful hands. It's only a game, so put up a real good fight.
And now...
Hello, and welcome to
Okay. Questions for Sips.
Okay, here's a decent one. This is from Dan Spittle. He asks, what is your favorite childhood film? ? Mine's probably Jurassic Park, which I would watch every hour, on the hour, all day, although it's over an hour long, so...
Yeah, how does that work?
Well, it doesn't work, but I think...
Would you have like multiple VCRs set up?
Yeah.
And you would just put a new tape in every hour? It'd be like singing London's Burning.
Yeah. A round, it's called.
You'd need like 4 VCRs, and you'd have to stage them all around, turning them on the hour. But you get so much crossover, I mean... And think of how many times you'd have to listen to like the theme music too. I mean, it's good, but...
But it's good. Of course it's good. It's John Williams.
It is good. It's not that good though. I wouldn't want to hear it like that many times.
Da 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 da.
Jurassic Park 3 was on TV the other night, and I think they just ran out of ideas.
I don't know if I've even watched that.
And I never watched it either.
No.
Even when it was on, I wasn't watching it. But I think they just ran out of ideas, so like they just like over-egged the music big time. Like every scene had like just that music playing, and it was totally inappropriate at times too. Like some guy was getting killed by a velociraptor, and it was just like do 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 do, and he's just getting like torn to shreds and stuff.
That's terrible.
And like I didn't think that was very good.
I think it's interesting. It's interesting that you say you think they ran out of ideas when essentially it's just one idea, isn't it? Dinosaurs attack people. That's the whole concept.
Wasn't Jurassic Park 3 straight to DVD, and wasn't it also set in like New York or something? Wasn't there like dinosaurs actually invading a city?
I don't know, but actually, if I'd realized that was the case, I might have watched it.
Yeah.
But from what I saw, there was no city attack by dinosaurs, and it was just pretty bad.
Was it just more island in the middle of nowhere stuff?
Yeah,
Or...
it had the guy. It had the actor from the first one. I can't remember his name.
Sam Neill, you mean?
Jeff Goldblum?
The old guy. The old guy that cries every time he sees a dinosaur. I mean, like, you don't need to cry every time you see a dinosaur, for fuck's sake.
Why does he cry when he sees a dinosaur?
I don't know.
Because he's so emotionally happy that he's brought back dinosaurs, so he just can't hold it in. He just bursts into happy tears every time.
Yeah, but it wasn't him, though. It was that other old guy that looks like Colonel Sanders, but just like 20 stone heavier.
20 stone Colonel Sanders. I'm not sure was he in the third one? I don't...
No, didn't he die in the first one? He got eaten.
Are you talking about Richard Attenborough? Are you actually talking about Richard Attenborough? That old guy who looks like Colonel Sanders?
In Jurassic Park 1. I think he is, yes.
He directed Gandhi with, oh god, what's his name? Ben Kingsley.
Are you going to start crying now? Because it's bad enough that other guy is always crying when he sees the dinosaurs. We don't need you to start crying now too.
It's a shame that Colonel Sanders just bursts into tears every time he sees a dinosaur. Let's not spread it out too much.
I know. It's because he's thinking, like, when he sees, like, the big dinosaurs, he's thinking, oh, God, think of all the chicken I could get out of those dinosaurs.
Oh, my God. Because apparently they do taste like chicken, dinosaurs. They do. I wrote an article about it once. Yeah, it's true. Because, remember, birds are, like, the nearest descendant to dinosaurs, aren't they? Because dinosaurs turn into pterodactyls, which turn into birds. And
There is a big problem with this in that no one's eaten a dinosaur.
Oh, Yeah, but genetic analysis.
Well, they could have in Jurassic Park. They had the chance.
But they analysed it like genetically, and they looked at like dinosaur meat and stuff, and how it was like the proteins and all the stuff were lined up. It looked most like chicken. So I think Colonel Sanders was like eyeing it up, thinking about putting the spice mix on it. I would eat the hell out of like a T-Rex steak or like a Triceratops wing. I'd eat the hell out of it.
I would eat the ever-loving shit out of a brontosaurus.
It's like in the Flintstones when they order that dinosaur thing and they put it on the side of the car, and it like tips the car over. Yeah,
the ribs.
I would eat.
Yeah,
I would love.
and the car falls over.
Hannah's writing me a note. She says dinosaurs, they turned into pterodactyls. She's drawing me a little dinosaur sort of family tree here. And apparently they also split up into Archaeopteryx.
Archaeopteryx.
I don't know why you're writing. Oh right, okay.
They
Wow.
are not pterodactyls.
How does she know so
they're a
much
separate-
about dinosaurs?
Died. These guys
When she was a
died
kid,
out.
dinosaurs were like really big.
These guys died out because
Right.
they
I'm glad we're
not
clearing all
fly.
this up, though.
These
This
guys
is good stuff to know.
turned into birds.
Because of raptor feathers. Is that why, like in World of Warcraft, raptors have feathers?
Yeah, because they're more related to raptors. Those are a separate
It all
breed
makes
of
sense now.
dinosaurs.
So birds didn't evolve from pterodactyls. They evolved from raptors,
Yes.
apparently.
That's why
Aren't
they've got the
predatory
same
birds
feet.
known as raptors? Which is why raptors are called raptors. The dinosaurs.
Okay, all right, but they can't hear you, Hannah. But yeah, okay. Thank you for that useful
No,
information.
I can hear
we
it
can
just
we can
fine.
hear it fine.
Oh, from across the room.
It's like being in school again.
Yeah, she felt she had to inform. She had to step in and inform me that I was an idiot then, which is fair enough. But they do taste like chicken. So it doesn't change the fact.
How long do you think it would take you to eat like a whole dinosaur? You could probably fill like your basement full of like tins of dinosaur chicken that would last you well over 10 years. I mean, dinosaurs are huge.
Oh God.
Oh god. Do you remember that you can actually get like a tin of chicken in jelly? It's like a whole boned chicken in
Is
jelly.
it a really big tin? That sounds
It's
horrible.
the most disgusting thing in the
Yeah.
world.
Hey, on that subject, one of the things that shocked me the most when I first moved to England was that you guys buy hot dogs like in a can, and I think there's just something wrong with putting a hot dog or like 6 hot dogs in a can with hot dog juice.
Hot dog juice!
That's probably the healthiest thing that's ever been done to that hot dog. I mean, they're made of like disgusting stuff anyway. Putting them in a can probably like actually gets rid of most of the agents that are like make them all horrible.
I know, but why not just vacuum pack them like in plastic, like normal places?
Well, you can get them in vacuum pack. Yeah, in like Frankfurters. Yeah, I don't go out there to buy them in cans.
No, but just your average like wieners, like Oscar Mayer wieners.
I beg your pardon.
Why would you get them in a can? That's
You
disgusting.
can get anything in a can, Sips. You can get cakes in cans and like meals, a whole like meal.
Oh,
You can't get cakes in cans. Get out of town.
you can get Jaffa cakes in a tube. I think that's
Yeah.
almost the same thing, isn't it?
Cakes in cans, yeah, definitely, Sips. It's like just a cylindrical cake. It looks quite good.
Well, I mean, I can understand how it would work, but I just can't visualize it, and I don't think it exists
Okay.
either.
Well, I'm sure you're wrong, so that's cool. Shall we move on?
No, we're not even done yet. We haven't answered the question yet. What is your actual favorite childhood film? This guy said Jurassic Park. From what I remember, Jurassic Park was in theaters for like 3 years. Like seriously, every time I went by a theater, Jurassic Park was playing.
So that's not even your answer. That's his answer.
That was his answer.
So
Yeah.
we haven't even gotten around to you.
No.
Oh Jesus Christ, Sips.
I think my favorite childhood film was the original Home Alone. I just thought that was the best movie ever
Oh my god.
at the time.
I remembered that as well, because I remember when I was at Centre Parks on holiday with the family, and Centre Parks is like a kind of a forest that you go to and you have to ride around on a bike everywhere. I fell off the bike and I actually like dislocated my jaw when I was like 7 or 8, and I was trapped indoors for this whole holiday.
What the hell?
And
God.
it was the best holiday of my life, right? because I got to watch Home Alone and all these kids films. And it was fucking great, and I had to. The only thing I could eat was ice cream and soup. You know, so it was like amazing. It was just fantastic. I had the best holiday ever.
What kind of soup though? It had to be like purely liquid soup, right? Like it couldn't have like.
Couldn't have lumps in it. I'm not a big fan of the lumpy soup though. I mean, because they're like always like red hot magma bits, and they kind of just burn you to death.
Well, no, I mean they're not that bad.
Well, they are the way my parents used to cook them. My parents only eat food that is like at 1 million degrees centigrade.
What's up with that? I like lukewarm food. Like I don't really like steaming hot food.
My parents are the kind of people who send stuff back if it's like lukewarm, you know. They're like, this isn't cooked enough, and then they put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds and bring it back out or whatever.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Are your parents like the type of people that like sort of do that kind of stuff every time you go out somewhere to eat?
Yeah. They always talk about how hot the food is. That's the biggest, like, that's top of the list.
With mine, it's always like how long things are taking. Like within 2 minutes of ordering something, they have to like flag someone down and be like, where's our food, by the way? And like these people just get so angry. You can see it in their face. And I'm just like sitting at the back, like with my face in my hands, like trying to hide, wishing I was dead. And they're just like, oh yeah, it'll probably be about 20 minutes. And then they'll flag them down like a good 2 or 3 more times in between that time.
We don't do fast food. We do good food as fast as we can. They probably have one of those signs up.
Are your parents people who, do they order tap water? A jug of tap water, specifically? What do your parents like to drink, Sips?
I don't know. I never really paid attention, actually. What about your parents? Are they like wine drinkers? Do your parents do that thing where they have to like sniff the wine and like slush it around in their mouths a bit?
And spit it out into like a bucket? Yeah, no, they don't do that. No, I don't know. I don't know. I think they're fairly normal. What about your parents, Simon?
Well, my dad does that whole, swishing around thing, but he does it with a bottle of whiskey.
Oh man.
You could see the hair sprouting from his chin.
But like the whole bottle, like he just chugs the whole bottle and swishes it around.
Yeah, he doesn't really taste it. It just sort of goes straight down his gullet. And my mum doesn't really, drink except to forget.
She only drinks to deal with your dad.
Oh,
wow. God. I hope they don't listen to this.
They won't mind. It's fine.
Childhood films, then. Simon, what was yours? You didn't say.
Ghostbusters 2, I think.
What a great film.
Why 2?
Because it was the better one. That's why.
Don't get me wrong, it was good, but nothing beats the first one.
Nothing beats the first one, apart from 2.
No.
Which does beat it.
It was a rare sequel that was actually as good.
2 had Vigo in it. Was it Vigo?
A child. It had the guy from Ally McBeal.
Yeah. I remember. And he was always like, Vigo! And then they had that pink slime, the happy slime. Or was it the angry slime?
It was amazing, wasn't it?
The slime that collected underneath New York because everybody was so angry.
Yeah.
And then the Statue of Liberty started walking.
God, that's such a kid's film premise, isn't it? The slime like collects all the anger of people in the city. I mean, these are kind of films that were like, these are all cult classics, really. But I mean, when you ask childhood film, the instant thing I think of is like the Disney film that you remember most strongly from your youth. And the one I remember was Dumbo for some reason. I think it's because my gran had the VHS of Dumbo, and that was basically the only VHS she had. And so through the age of 4 to about 7, every time I went to my nan's, we always watched Dumbo, and I must have seen that film like 30 or 40 times. And also, this is the other thing, I remember them having a VHS of Spider-Man, like a really old Spider-Man film from like 80 something, early 80s. But when I kind of looked for it on IMDb, I couldn't really find one. So I don't know what this film that I used to watch as a kid was. They taped it off the telly. I mean, it had the adverts and stuff in it as well. So I remember like watching this same thing. It was taped off the telly with the adverts over and over again. My childhood, oh my god.
Grandparents always have like such a shitty collection of VHS tapes.
I know.
Like it makes no sense whatsoever. Like my grandmother was married to, like she remarried to a guy that I never even called Grandpa. His name was just Ray. So it was like, and his
God.
VHS collection was he'd like taped Charlie Chaplin movies like off TV, like off public broadcasting, and then he just taped like a bunch of like American football games. And that's all he had on tape, like in his whole tape collection. And he had like 100 tapes. It was crazy, but like nobody could watch them.
What the hell?
He was nuts.
He was very protective of his tapes, was he? He sounds like a scary man.
He was pretty scary. And like you'd try to like watch Charlie Chaplin, and he'd be like laughing his head off. And like I'm sure that was like pretty funny, like in the 1920s or whatever. But like. This is the 80s. It wasn't that funny, and I'm just sitting there. It was like really awkward. Like wasn't even laughing. And God, jeez, I'm just glad I'm not a kid anymore.
I didn't really watch Disney movies as a kid. I watched sort of, I don't know, goofy things. Movies that, you know, aren't U certificate, but are like PGs. So I wouldn't be watching animations of like deers crying or
Flying
the Lion
elephants.
King or anything. I think it was a bit old for the Lion King, actually. That would have been pretty weird if I was watching it at like 18 or something. So I just watched, I don't know, action movies and things. Terrible things. Things that kids probably shouldn't watch, which probably explains why I'm like I am.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
So there you go, there's a moral there, kids. If you want to be like me, don't watch movies for children. Watch lots of violent movies and stuff with ghosts in, I guess, as well.
Did your parents ever like try to like prevent you from watching like an excessively violent movie like when you were younger?
Well, Akira got mysteriously wiped because I had a VHS of that, and that just disappeared one day.
God, that's a bit of a... I didn't really get that when I watched it when I was about 20.
Do you think it's because it was anime or because it had violence in it?
It's pretty violent and pretty grotesque. Either that or, you know, my parents really, really, really wanted to watch that episode of Antiques Roadshow. I don't know.
So, some of them are really good. I mean, I can't blame them. Okay, I've got another question. This one is from Jimma769, and he asks, if you woke up one morning with a pair of bear claws for fingers, what would your first course of action be? That's an interesting question, actually. I'd never really considered ever having bear claws for fingers.
What if you had like really itchy balls?
I know, you would like just completely like mutilate your balls, like just scratch them.
You have to also make the bear noise when you did it.
Yeah, that stock bear noise from like every game and movie ever.
Bears might seem, you know, lumbering and careless, but in fact they're very delicate creatures, and you would find that you'd be able to scratch your balls very accurately, and it would feel very nice and relaxing. Unless, of course, like you also had more bare parts to your body, not just claws, like bare balls and bare feet and stuff as well. In which case, you'd be perfectly suited.
I know, but do you think like maybe your balls would be tough, like in relation to the setup of your fingers? Like if you had claws, like your balls would probably be like tough enough to withstand like the scratching from those claws. But like because we just have fingers, maybe our balls are like softer.
How sharp are bear claws?
They're pretty sharp.
Is the implication here that bears have evolved very tough balls because when they need to scratch them, they don't want to rip them off? That would work quite well, evolutionary-wise, wouldn't it? Because bears with really weak balls would just swipe them off, so they wouldn't be able to procreate.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, but like a bear wouldn't be able to just do the stuff that it would do like normally if it just constantly had like scratched up, gashed balls like from its claws.
Well, that's horrible. Yeah,
like, you would just be in pain all the time.
it would. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably go to the doctor and say, "Holy shit! What has happened here to my hands? Why have they suddenly become bear claws? And then I might join like a travelling circus and become famous across the world.
I don't know what I would do, but like I have a good list of things that I wouldn't do.
Right.
Like I wouldn't scratch my balls, for instance.
That's right at the top.
I wouldn't scratch like my inner ass either.
Right.
With bear claws.
Your inner ass.
I probably wouldn't pick my nose. I wouldn't pick my nose with bear claws. I wouldn't pick my ears either with bear claws.
Right. So most of the things you wouldn't do with bear claws involve anything to do with your own body. Okay, is there anything else that you wouldn't do?
I mean, I probably wouldn't like pet a cat or a dog with bear claws either. I assume that would
What
be.
about another bear?
Another bear I think could take it.
Yeah.
Like just a gentle stroking, not like nothing too rigorous.
No.
So yeah, I can think of more things I wouldn't do than things I would do. But I don't know. Like if you woke up and you had bear claws, you could be like, oh, I'm gonna get revenge from all those people that did me wrong. I'm gonna show them who's boss of this bear claw. But what kind of person would that make you? Not a nice one.
No.
Well, you wouldn't be a person, you'd be part bear. So
It's true, yeah, actually, yeah, when you put it that way. So then you could almost justify like acting like a total asshole. Like, who fucking cares? I'm not fully human anymore. I'm half bear. Suck on it, bitches.
Would it... Well, you have got a, sort of an idea of what happens when you do become sort of a bear, because you drove that car around, didn't you, as Enviro Bear? Where you have
That's
to
true, yeah.
hibernate in caves.
Good wheel handling, actually.
They know how to drive, don't they, bears? So maybe you could become like a racing driver.
Yeah, it could be like the next Colin McRae with my bear claw. Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's what I would do. Anyone else have anything in particular they would do with a pair of bear claws?
I'd pretend to be Wolverine a lot, I think. I'd just be stood in front of a mirror going, schnickety schnick. And then after 2 minutes, I'd get bored and I'd go, oh God, what have I become? And I'll just look down at my hands and start crying.
Crying salty tears into your bare hands. Like, not like
You have to be
bare
very
hands,
careful.
like
Yeah, very careful.
bare animal bare hands.
I'd sit on the loo, I'd do my business, and then I'd go, oh God, how am I going to wipe? Oh God, it'd be terrible.
Yeah, it would be
All the
bad.
things you wouldn't be able to do.
You'd have to like enlist somebody to like do your wiping for you, I think.
Like the Queen has.
Yeah.
What?
Do you think she uses like normal toilet paper, or do you think she uses like that really soft toilet paper with aloe vera like inside it?
She probably has like a commissioned factory that only produces like toilet paper for the Queen. It has like the royal seal stamped on every sheet.
And it's like 12 ply. Like us mere mortals can only get 2 or 4 ply. She gets 12 ply.
Each sheet is like an entire packet of tissues.
It's like wiping your ass with a cloud.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
That's right.
Shall we move on to the next question,
There you go.
Sips? Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, let me just find one. Hang on. Okay, here's a good one. This is from Salasnape. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Question is, would you rather win the lottery or be the king of Zimbabwe? I'm gonna go for the lottery. What would you do if you won the lottery? What's like the first thing you would do?
I'd go out and I'd go and buy a pasty from Greg's and I'd treat myself. Straight to Greg's. The Yogscast, sponsored by Greg's.
What?
New branch opening in the Isle of Wight, 2013.
Yeah. I know Simon would buy the Millennium Falcon Lego kit.
Would you buy a Porsche though? Like, do you guys like cars? Would you buy like a really fancy car if you won the lottery?
Well, I wouldn't have anywhere to park it for a start. And if I parked it on the street, it would just get like ruined. My current car has had like 2 people drive into it, so it's got like massive dents on either side. I parked it like facing one way down the road, and then made the mistake of pointing it the other way down the road like the next week, and basically just got 2 big dents in each side. So it's kind of evened out the aerodynamics of the car, because with one dent on one side, it was like not quite right.
It's a blessing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it was like veering off to like the side when you were trying to drive and stuff.
Yeah. So if I got a Porsche, I don't think, But then again, I don't really drive anywhere either, so I don't really need a car.
Would you buy a helicopter then?
Well, I can't fly a helicopter, can I?
You could have lessons. Or you could have someone fly it for you. A heli chauffeur.
You could be like one of those people that, because places don't cater for like your specific needs, you could just like not go. So like with a helicopter, that's like everywhere. Hey, you want to go to Tesco? Do they have a helicopter landing pad? No. Well, fuck that, I'm not going there. And like you can just say that about everywhere.
You could buy one for Tesco. Have it installed on the roof.
I'm sure they probably do already have helipads, and the really posh, like the rich people, they go, right, let's go to Tesco, darling. So they go up to their roof, they get in the helicopter, they fly to Tesco, and they go like into down a secret staircase in Tesco to like a special private Tesco.
Why are they still shopping at Tesco?
Yeah, why don't they just order online instead?
Well, no, then they have to have
Morrison's? I don't know.
Sainsbury's.
So they have to shop somewhere. All the millionaires. Well, they order online from Harrods, and like a posh man turns up with a monocle and says, "Your lettuce, sir, and here is your a packet of Jaffa cakes."
That's exactly
Yeah.
what they would do, yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh, lovely Jaffa.
All right, let's close that one. Nobody wants to be the king of Zimbabwe,
no,
and none of us have any real idea what we'd do if we won the lottery.
no.
But we prefer the lottery. This is from Chasor11. If you were held at gunpoint, which would you choose, milk or toast?
Okay.
If I was held at gunpoint, I wouldn't be thinking about milk or toast. In all honesty.
No, but he's like saying like someone comes up to you like an armed robber and he points a gun in your face and he just says that question, like shouts it at you. Which one would you go for?
I would just say milk every time. I think you'd survive longer off just drinking milk than you would off just eating toast.
I mean, what kind of toast is it? What kind of milk is it? You know, it's difficult. It's not a question you can just answer like under a high pressure situation. You know.
I know, but I'm pretty good with most milk. I mean, unless it's like goat's milk or like soy milk. But I mean, that's only a small fraction of all the available types of milk. So the odds are I'd probably get a milk that I could deal with. Oh, skim milk though. I don't know.
I mean, what if you had to drink like a pint of like really watery, thin goat's milk or something? You know, like
I barf everywhere. I don't like that.
Yeah. Simon's been drinking soy milk, haven't you?
Simon, what the hell's your problem? Why don't you just get some like normal milk? 1%. What's wrong with 1% milk?
Well, soy milk's good for you. There's this whole thing that we're all slightly lactose intolerant because we're not supposed to drink milk beyond, teething age. We're supposed to like eat solid food and not milk. So it makes everyone slightly ill. So by drinking milk that doesn't have fats in, then you aren't so ill. What a weird topic.
Of course, though, we don't want to discourage people from drinking milk because it is extremely good for you, and a lot of people don't get enough vitamin, whatever you get from milk. So, drink milk.
I think like cold milk. If you just have like a glass of cold milk, it's like so refreshing and delicious.
I know.
Like I drink like a ton of milk. It's really the best thing to drink.
I know that a lot of the population of the world are lactose intolerant. All the sort of people in India and China, and none of them drink milk. And lactose intolerant is actually the wrong word because there's more people in the world who are intolerant to milk than there are who are tolerant of it in the Western world. So we are over here. We are in the minority. The people who drink milk are the minority. So Simon has got a point.
Well, that's good. That means there's more milk for me. I mean, if China and India were drinking milk, there'd be none left like really fast. Because like a lot of people live in those countries, and if all of them started drinking milk, that would be catastrophe. We just wouldn't be able to keep up.
I think that's probably the real reason they don't all drink milk, because their country doesn't have the infrastructure to have that many cows around providing milk for people.
Maybe.
I think it's a cultural thing. They've never drunk milk, though, have they? Of any type. Toast, though.
Oh, toast. I mean, I like toast too. Not as much as milk.
I see what you mean, though. If it was just a dry piece of dry toast, I can see that the advantage of milk over that is, obvious. Because you don't really eat toast on its own, do you? You have to have something on it.
You have to have something on it, and you have to have something with it too. Like, you can't just have like toast with peanut butter and then nothing to drink, because your mouth is just like stuck together.
Yeah.
For like the whole morning. So you have to have some milk to like wash it down.
Yeah.
Or like some orange juice or some apple juice maybe.
I think milk's a good option under those circumstances. Okay, we've made a decision as a group. Voted 2-1 against Simon, who would have gone for toast.
Simon, you wouldn't have gone for toast really though. I don't believe it.
Well, it's strange because milk can be replaced easily with soy milk, and yet toast, what do you replace that with? Crackers? It's madness. It's crackers. That's where it came from. Saying that things are crackers, because just eating crackers is madness. It's crackers. Crackers.
Okay, good.
Okay, David Callow asks, what would be your dream job? This is a good question. What would be your dream job, Lewis?
Jaffa tester.
What did you say?
Jaffa tester.
Okay. Do you want to describe your average day as a Jaffa tester?
Yeah, what if you get like a bad batch? What if they accidentally just put like cat shit in instead of the orange stuff?
AIDS and cat shit in the Jaffa cake. Well, it would be a bad day at work. If it was a Monday, I mean, that would just ruin the week, wouldn't it?
You get like some sick days, like a work-related injury. Well, you'd have AIDS, right? So work gave you AIDS. They'd have to like compensate you somehow.
Oh my god. I can picture it. There's like, I'm sat at a desk, and in front of me there's a tray that says in and a tray that says out. And on the in, there's loads of Jaffa cakes. And I've got like a cup of tea in front of me, nice steaming hot. And I take the Jaffa cakes and I sort of dip them in the tea a little bit to make the chocolate melt and for the sponge to go a little bit soggy. And then I eat it.
Are you sweating right now while you describe this?
After a few hours, I then like squat on the out tray.
Okay, is the out tray a bucket?
The out tray is actually a toilet.
No,
It's like a litter tray. It's like a little litter tray.
It's got to be a toilet with like a shelf built into like the outside of the toilet so that you can put like all your plates and empty tea mugs on top. So just be plates with like lots of little crumbs on the plate, like a big stack, and then empty tea mugs too. And then obviously your poops.
That is a dream job, isn't it? Oh my goodness. People normally answer that question like semi-seriously, like I'd like to be an astronaut, or I'd like to be a.
That's a serious answer.
Yeah, I mean that's like a serious career that they could actually get involved in. But it's a career that actually involves a lot of work. They don't quite realise what they're getting themselves in for.
It's more likely that the average person will get a job testing Jaffa cakes than being a fucking astronaut.
But what I'm saying is, people don't like choose. People choose like things like rocket car test pilot and crazy stuff, but they don't factor in what goes with that. People choose to be like, oh, I'd love to be a vet. But it's hard work being a vet. You have to do all sorts of horrible stuff. They'd like to be a racehorse or a racing car driver, right? Like Lewis Hamilton.
They want to be a racehorse. Good grief. When I grow up, I want to be a racehorse. Timmy, I don't think. Wouldn't you want to be an astronaut or a Jaffa cake tester? Racehorse! Timmy, come on, be reasonable.
I want to be an ambulance.
It's very hard to think up the word's dream job. As soon as something becomes a job, it's not what you imagine it to be anymore. Even like the best, most dream jobs, people think, oh, I'd love to be a king. And just like sleep with all the princesses. But once you actually be king, it's like, oh god, I have to run the whole country. There's people trying to assassinate me, like the king of Zimbabwe. It would be a real pain in the arse to be the king of Zimbabwe. As soon as it's a job, it's not what you dreamed it would be. That's the problem. Job is like such a tedious word. You know, it's like, oh god, I have to go to my job. Oh god, I have to go to my dream job tomorrow. Oh, I hate it. You know, you'd get sick of Jaffa cakes so quickly at your dream job, wouldn't you?
That would never happen.
Okay.
That would never happen.
You'd go like, you'd get all like super serious. You'd take your job super seriously. Like you'd be testing the Jaffas, and you'd be like, oh, I wonder if like they just added a hint of like cinnamon or something, it would taste better. And then you'd like go to the CEO's office and be like, oh, yeah, I'm your head Jaffa cake tester. I have this great idea to make your Jaffa cakes taste better. And then he'd just like totally ignore you because like they've just been making Jaffa cakes that way for like 300 years or whatever, and they had no plans to change the formula whatsoever. And who is this guy coming into my office? Let's fire him, and then that'd be it. That'd be your dream job done, because you would just screw it all up.
Yeah.
Because you would just take it too seriously.
Oh god, that's terrible.
And then you'd eat like a cat shit Jaffa, and your out tray would be full, and it would just be disgusting. I mean, this is...
You would throw up all over your out tray.
Your out tray would just be overflowing all over your room. It would be revolting.
You would pass out in your own vomit on the floor of your room, and you wouldn't wake up for like 3 days, and it would have like solidified and stuck to your face and your chest.
And then your in tray will be full of Jaffas to test, and they're like, eat these Jaffas now. Can you imagine?
The CEO would come down and wonder why the Jaffas aren't being tested, and he would slip in your vomit, and then he would like get vomit all over his pants. It would just be terrible.
I don't want to be a Jaffa cake tester anymore.
Oh, that's like little Timmy. See, oh dear. Well, there you go.
I think my dream job, we covered it in live stream. I'd want to be that guy that animates like all that stupid shit in Anno, like the pig vacuum things. You just get to sit around all day and like draw like this like factory that like accepts pigs in like by a vacuum and then slaughters.
Right.
And that would take you like a whole week to draw all that and animate it and everything. And I think that would be good.
You want to be a 3D artist designing pig vacuums and various other farmyard...
And other really dumb stuff.
Yeah, machinery.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one.
I think that would be pretty stress-free too. I mean, you know, it wouldn't be a lot of work. And you get to like sit around and like draw like pretty interesting stuff and then animate it. But I don't know, like eventually, you know, deadlines and stuff like that, you'd probably get like a bit stressed out. And then you'd probably start hating it.
God, yeah. I mean, they'll be like demanding... The thing is, the better you do at the job as well, the more people expect you to like, you know, keep to those deadlines that you were doing in your first week. That's why if any of you get a job, right, don't do too much work in the first week, because if you work really hard in the first week, they'll sort of expect you to like, you know, continue that like level of work. But if you work like really crappy in the first week, you can like build up, and they'll be like, oh my god, he's got so much better. Look, well, let's give him a promotion, you know?
There's a fine balance though, because if you start your first week and you don't do shit like the whole time, you'll lose your job too. Like you can't set the bar too low or too high. You got to find that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Where you can just about get away with not doing anything.
Do the minimum. Like if you were Jaffa testing, for example, you should really just like, you know, make sure that there's always like a little bit of a Jaffa left in your in tray to do all the time. So if someone comes in and they're like,
yeah,
they look in and see if you've got any work to do, they always see that your inbox has still got a little bit left in it. And they're like, oh, right, good. I'm managing him well, you see. So always make sure there's still a little bit.
Otherwise, I'd just be taking on too many Jaffas.
Yeah, you got to pace yourself.
And that can lead to the whole situation that we previously described.
Well, maybe not Simon's situation, because that was like kind of disgusting. I mean, in an average job, I don't think that would happen. But...
No, probably not. It was like a Final Destination style catastrophe, wasn't it? Just all these factors came together.
Yeah. Oh man. So that was meant to be like a really positive question, and we sort of ended that negatively. but whatever. It's all good. This one is video game related. It's from somebody named Spartan114Kaz, and he wants to know, Sips, how do you feel about EVE Online? I don't know. I mean, I don't feel anything about EVE Online. I tried it a couple of times, and yeah, I can see why people like it, but it's not for me. It's not for me at all. I couldn't play for very long, and one time I tried to get into a big fleet battle, and my frames per second dropped to like 5, and I didn't know what was going on, and I got killed. And then I rage uninstalled EVE Online and never played it again. But apparently that's all been fixed now, and it's a lot better. But I don't know. I just don't have like as much time as I used to play like big MMOs that take up a lot of time. That's what I think about EVE Online. What about you guys? Did you guys ever play EVE Online?
I played it briefly. I did the sort of tutorial thing and messed around and flew about, and it just didn't seem terribly interesting to me. It's quite beautiful, but then you realise that everything all looks the same in space, so you kind of get bored of just looking at the same backgrounds and the same ships, the same sort of space stations, and also the whole like crafting and buying of everything and the skills. It just wasn't very interesting at all.
It was kind of cool that you could train skills like without actually being like online though. Like some skills took like 5 days to train or whatever, and they would just train while you were like offline and stuff. That's kind of cool, but maybe totally unnecessary as well, because they could have just made it level based or something instead. But EVE Online's pretty popular, and a lot of people like it. I think, as far as I know, the community's like pretty tight with EVE Online too. And like they do this thing, like I think the developers have like this thing where they have like an in-game, like a government kind of thing, and it's all made up of players.
What?
And they get to go to Iceland like every year, and not the store, like the country, and they get to meet and convene and talk about like galactic matters and stuff like that.
Galactic politics. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. That sounds pretty good too. If you're into that sort of thing, that's a nice touch, like a good way to sort of keep people playing and stuff like that. All right, Carlos EFT asks, "Hi Sips, I found a can of tuna from 1993 in my shed. Can I still eat it, or should I just save it as a memento for when all sea creatures die off? Thanks. I love you. Bye." There's a couple of things with that question. Why was there a can of tuna in your shed? And do you normally store food like in your shed? Is it a garden shed? I would never store food out in a shed, because you could get like raccoons or bears or anything just like trying to get into the shed to get the food.
Where is he living?
I don't know, but I'm just saying. It may not necessarily be bears or raccoons, but like you could get like, I don't know, like a ferret or something, like might like dig in underneath the shed and try to break in and like eat all of your canned food.
I mean,
I wouldn't risk
only
it,
if you had
personally.
like bear claws. You woke up one morning and had bear claws. But no, I mean canned food. It typically lasts. If I know anything about Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, food's still good for like ages after sort of apocalypse. It's still fine. I think I read somewhere that it lasts about 30 years on average. So I think if it was 1993, it should be totally fine. I mean, that's only like 18 years old. God, that does sound really old. I mean, that's older than some of the people who will be listening to this, for sure. Should you go ahead and eat food if it's older than you? If it's been in a can longer than you've been alive? Oh, wow.
Some stuff's safe, I think, though. Like Spam is probably like pretty safe.
I guess it's probably like not so bad if it's things that when they go bad, they don't like cause massively toxic byproducts. Like if you were eating like fruit or something like that, which is also highly acidic. I mean, some problems can be that if it's quite acidic in the can, it can etch the can and get poisonous, like if it was a kind of specific type of very old can. But also, I mean, if it's like something like meat or poultry or something like that, I probably wouldn't really go for it if it was really, really old. Because, I mean, if it's off, then it's going to be pretty bad for you.
Do you think it's appropriate though to hang on to a can of tuna like as a memento for when all sea creatures die off? I mean, if all sea creatures died off, like honestly, I don't really give a shit about tuna. It's not tuna fish isn't something I'd want to really remember either. I'd be pretty good with tuna fish just like becoming extinct. I don't eat tuna, so I don't know. Maybe if I had like a tin of like killer whale meat or something, that'd be something to remember. But I wouldn't. I mean, you could like make it into a necklace, I guess. Just like attach the tin to like a chain and like wear it as a necklace.
Maybe that'll be like totally fashionable in like years to come. Now, I think there's something to do with tuna. I mean, there's different types of tuna. Obviously, there's like sort of certain tuna that are being overfished. So if it was a tin of tuna that was going to go and disappear, then maybe it's worth it. But other types of tuna are being like commercially farmed, so they're basically never going to go, inverted commas, extinct, except in the wild. But I mean, I think most tuna isn't really threatened. I think you're better off if you had some sort of fish that was going to go extinct. Like a cod or something, tin of cod. Maybe that would be more valuable. Something a little bit less common. Since like tuna's like massively common, isn't it? So that's my advice.
On this topic though, like how do you feel about like sell-by dates and stuff? Because like if this guy's had a can of tuna in his shed from 1993, it probably says somewhere on the tin like best before November 1994 or something.
Yeah.
Which obviously is well over the sell-by date and consume-by date. But like, do you follow those? Are you the type of person that like if it says that it's got to be used by the 10th of January, you just throw it in the garbage on the 10th of January, or do you sort of chance it and just do you do the mold check, or
what do you do?
You open it up and smell it?
I give it a good sniff to see if it's still edible.
Yeah, but like it sort of like tricks you sometimes though, because if you smelt it the day before the sell-by date, you'd be like, oh yeah, it smells fine. And it could smell the exact same like 3 days later, but because it's past the sell-by date that's written on the tin, you're like, oh shit, this doesn't really smell too good. But like it probably just smells the exact same as it smelled like a couple of days ago anyway.
I think it's one of those things which you more care about it more if it's meat. Like if it's like chicken and it's like hitting the sell-by date, you're like, yeah, let's get rid of this. Whereas if it's like I don't know, like a packet of tomatoes, they're usually fine for like another week after it, So, and like some fruit just looks exactly the same as it was when you bought it, so you're like, well, it's obviously fine. So I don't know, there are guidelines, but no, it's a hard one.
Some people are so extreme though. Like personally, I wouldn't eat a banana that was like overly bruised, like because it goes like all mushy and it's like kind of disgusting.
I don't eat.
But, like
those.
I've seen people eat like a banana that's like just like totally black.
Yeah, you can buy them.
And it's like
plantains.
It's like why would you? I don't get, like, it's so gross. Like it's just so mushy and disgusting. Like why do you eat that? Just throw it.
Was this tin of tuna in his shed part of like a sort of nuclear apocalypse survival kit, or like zombie survival kit? I mean, if you heard that like a zombie apocalypse was coming, right, Simon, and what would you, and you were like, you had like advanced knowledge of it, and you knew that you had to like stock up your house to like prepare, what would you go and buy from like the supermarket?
A gun and a single bullet.
Wow.
I don't know if I'd want to shoot myself with a gun. There's got to be like a better way to like toast yourself like before the zombies come.
Whiskey and that tin of tuna you were saving.
Yeah, just like shit and barf your guts right out. There was this movie on like a couple of years ago. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like the lead up to like an asteroid hitting Earth and like wiping out everybody on Earth. And like it just showed like the couple of hours before that happened, and like all these people were doing different things. And the only thing I remember from the movie was like there was this couple. They were just sitting on the roof of like the building they live in, and they were each pointing a gun at like each other's head and hoping that they could both like pull the trigger like at the same time and kill each other, I guess, before like the asteroid hit. That's pretty depressing.
What a weird way to do it. That's certainly not the normal way to do it, is it?
Well, it's not normal, and I don't think it would work either. Like
No.
you're depending on two people having like perfect timing.
Mm.
It would never work.
It would work. It would be more likely to work if they were slightly further away from each other, but then they had less coordination if they were further away from each other. Well, that's a bit depressing, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
What do you think would be worse? Do you think a zombie apocalypse would be far worse than just like a normal sort of, well, I say normal, but like, you know, like say an asteroid just hit the Earth and just, you know, killed everybody instantly? Would you rather go that way, or would you rather like just try to like tough it out and survive a zombie apocalypse?
Would I rather everyone on the Earth was killed instantly, or everyone on the Earth was slowly infected into zombies?
Yeah, and if everybody on the Earth was killed instantly, would you feel better about dying? Like, are you one of those people that like you feel better about things when like other people, it affects other people like at the same time?
No.
Like if you died in a plane crash, would you be like, oh yeah, but at least like 250 other people died too?
No, I don't feel like that at all. I don't. Wow, really?
Because like some people are kind of like that. Yeah, yeah. I've met people who've said that.
Dude, that's fucked up.
That actually doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
But
No.
there you go.
That's a bit messed up, isn't it? Yeah.
So what you're saying is if you're going to go down, you're going to take down a lot of people with you.
I guess so, yeah.
I don't think that's a normal, healthy psychological viewpoint, is it?
No, but if you were going to go down, would you try to take a couple of people with you?
Most people are willing to die to save other people. I think if you asked one person, you know, if they were to die to save one other random person, they would usually sort of say no. But if it was like greater numbers, I think there must be tests done on this.
It depends on the people too. Like, I mean,
It does.
I wouldn't take a bullet for like the Chuckle Brothers, for instance.
No.
Wow.
No, or like Noel Edmonds or something. No. Jeremy Clarkson.
No, I mean, man, Jeremy Clarkson's got a 21-year-old daughter. How the hell does that work?
Really?
Somebody actually slept with Jeremy. Oh no, not Clarkson. Sorry, I'm thinking of Jeremy Kyle. Yeah.
Wow.
Just as bad. Well, no. I think Jeremy Kyle's a lot worse.
I don't know. Clarkson's pretty bad.
I think Clarkson does have a kid, though. I'm not sure.
He probably does actually, and that means that Jeremy Kyle and Jeremy Clarkson have both actually had sex, which is mind-boggling, really. I mean, somebody would have had to have been pretty desperate.
Quite right.
Wow. I'm not sure.
I just don't see the appeal. Like, I'm almost like 100% positive if I was a woman, I wouldn't go like anywhere near either of those guys. They're just like the worst.
If you had a gun to your head and they said Milk or Jeremy Clarkson.
No, if they had a gun to your head and they said Clarkson or Kyle, which would you choose?
Oh.
God, that is a hard one. So, okay, let's move on, Sips, before we get into strange territory. Stranger territory.
Alright. Raging Cookie asks, do you like ponies? I do. They are delicious. I've never eaten a pony. Can you even eat ponies? I don't know.
I think they taste a bit like chicken, because they're descended from...
Oh Christ! Everything tastes like chicken.
I don't know if they taste like chicken. Apparently there's this whole thing to do with whether or not horses should be eaten, right? Because apparently horses are supposed to be horse meats are supposed to be quite nice. Like kind of...
Yeah.
like beefy, but quite sort of different. Horses are these kind of things that are on the borderline between like man's best friend and farm animals. Like you would never eat a dog or a cat or a dolphin, but horses are like on the kind of borderline. And I know that in some countries they definitely do eat horses, and you can buy like horse sushi and stuff in Japan. It's quite common. And I think there was a thing about sort of bringing it back recently and making it kind of okay. Where do you stand on that, Simon?
I don't think that I would eat a horse unless I really had to. If someone put a gun against my head and said milk or horse, then I'd have to think long and hard about that one.
If somebody put a gun against my head and said horse or dolphin, I don't know what I would say.
Oh God.
I don't think I'd eat either. I've never eaten horse or pony, and I don't plan on eating either. I mean, I like horses and ponies like as much as the next person. Like when they're just like galloping around in the field and showering them with sugar lumps and riding them over fences.
Oh, yeah.
But I would never eat one.
No, really? You would never even give it a go? I mean, it's a taboo.
I'm not one of these people that's like would just try something.
It's understandable. You always hear in like kind of stories about war and fantasy and stuff as well that they kind of the last resort is to eat their horse, you know, kind of thing. But I mean, it's also they're certainly not farmed animals, are they? They're useful. They have a use. So there's definitely a taboo there. And I don't think I would really feel comfortable eating a horse. And it can't really be that nice, can it? I mean, even vegetarians sort of talk about like eating bacon and saying, "Oh, well, I tried bacon once. You know, I had to try it, and it was all right. You know, it wasn't as big as a bigger deal as people were saying and stuff."
What vegetarians have said that?
Oh, one of Hannah's friends is a big vegetarian, and she was always sort of told that.
Big vegetarian who tried bacon.
Yeah. Well, because everyone was saying, "Oh, you're missing out. You should try bacon." So she sort of tried it, and she was like, "Ah, well, that was all right." But it was a special reason. There was some reason for it, just to kind of confirm her vegetarianism by eating some bacon.
Some people seem to like go out of their way though to like eat like just the most outlandish shit though. Like some cultures too.
Yeah.
Like in China, they just like eat all sorts of different shit, and it's kind of gross. Like anything that walks, basically, they'll like stew it up or like eat its legs or something. And like some people like go to restaurants to like try like new stuff or whatever.
It's the reason that they don't drink loads of milk in these places. They simply don't have the infrastructure, so people have to eat weird shit because there's nothing else that they can fucking eat.
Yeah, but why don't they just grow like just a lot of vegetables and eat those?
It's like a cultural thing, right? So, we go to a foreign culture and we say, here we go, this is what we're eating. We're eating, some lovely sliced lamb, and we're going to have some lovely cheese on it. And so they say, "Oh, what, you're killing this wonderful creature. We would never eat lamb here. They're sacred to our culture." And then they say, "Cheese, you leave milk out until it goes mouldy, and then you eat the mould." It's like, what? It's so weird to them, these things that we find like normal, in our culture. But instead they say, "Do you want this, fried scorpion on a stick and this like, cockroach that we've cooked up? This is like totally normal here. They're lovely. Why don't you eat them?"
Like jellyfish. Who the fuck would eat jellyfish? I don't even want to look at jellyfish like in their natural habitat, let alone eat them.
But we're getting a lot of anti-jelly prejudice going on here. You don't like jellyfish. What was that other thing you didn't like? The jelly in pork pies and jelly chicken in tins. I mean, what about like nice jelly? Strawberry jelly with like strawberries in it. What's wrong with that?
Like Jello.
What's wrong with Jello?
I like Jello. But
I mean, isn't that just the same?
There's nothing wrong with it, okay? Listen, I didn't mean to offend you. Like
ground up animal bones. I mean, it's horrible when you think about it.
Now, like most of those just end up in those tinned hot dogs anyway, though, right? Like hot dogs are like they're like 5% meat. The rest of it is all just like all sorts of other shit. They just put like all sorts of weird shit inside hot dogs for some reason. Like in Indiana Jones when they were eating like monkey brains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You got to draw a line somewhere, I think. Like nobody really wants to eat that stuff.
I think the line is probably drawn way before monkey brain.
Yeah, I think so.
That's like quite far over the line.
Like raw monkey brains right out of their heads as well.
Yeah.
There's no need for that. That's not nice.
It's distasteful. Yeah. Let's move on.
Last question. White Slate asks, "You've got an incredible ability for making up names for things, but what's your favorite name in the world?" This is a good question. If you didn't like your name, for whatever reason, what name would you have for yourself? And would you have the balls to like go to Deedpool and have it changed?
I would call myself Candy.
Surname? Or is that just the one? Are you like a footballer? Like Pele?
Kane. Candy Kane.
I think Candy Kane is she sounds like a Batman villain, doesn't she? Candy Kane!
Like a geriatric villain.
She supports herself on a candy cane. I can imagine you dressed up as her as well, Simon, in like this horrible lipstick that's like smeared all over your face.
Yeah, like the Joker.
Oh god, yeah. That's a hard one, Sips. Happy Reversible Spanners was a good name, which I always liked that. Someone came up with that when they changed their name.
It's already been taken though. You can't pick the same name.
I'm gonna have Happy Reversible Spanners because that'll be sufficiently different. Also, what do you mean someone's already got the name and I can't have it? How many people out there are called like James Smith?
Yeah, they didn't pick those names, and they're not called Mr. Spanners though, are they?
Their parents did.
It's weird though, because there's probably a lot, but I've never met anybody named James Smith before. Like you'd think, like the odds were that you would, but actually, I don't think I've ever met anybody with the last name Smith, and it's like the most common last name. So I don't know how that works.
I don't think I know anyone called Mr. Smith either. LL Cool J, by the way, his original name was James Smith. Just saying.
Yeah, but you don't know LL Cool J.
I know of him.
I mean, Will Smith. Yeah, you know of Will Smith too, but like you don't know him. Would you go for a classic name though, Lewis, or would you go for something like outlandish, like Simon went for?
Outlandish. I think I'd go for something old school, like Desmond
Glenn.
Desmond Glenn.
Desmond Glenn. Yeah, he sounds like a character on The Archers or something, doesn't he?
Wasn't there a show called Desmond with like some Jamaican guys in it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, set in hairdressers. That was a good show. That was with Pork Pie, a man named after a style of hat. What was the question again?
What about you, Sips? What would you call yourself?
I'd just go for a classic, like Charles or maybe like Gary or something.
With 2 R's or 1 R?
Gary with 1 R. I don't think you should spell Gary with 2 R's.
Okay, that's a controversial viewpoint. Right.
Well, I'm sticking to it. I mean, if anybody wants to fight about it, then, they can fight Simon.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much. And we've tied it all together. That'll do for now.
Yes.
And we will see you.
Have we?
Good job.
In a nice tidy package. There we go.
We will see you next time for more questions with Sips. And me. And Simon.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Okay, goodbye, Sips. Goodbye. Should I say goodbye, Simon?
Goodbye, Simon.
You've been listening to the YoGPoD, episode 41, which was produced by the Yogscast and starred Lewis Brindley, Simon Lane, and Sips. My name is Sparkles, and I wrote the music you can hear right now, and I also survived many near-death experiences to deliver this podcast to your ears. I have to go now, as I've not seen daylight in over a week. Bye!